questions you would like to ask about your compensation for February, please address those to me. Yep, because I'm responsible for probably most of the mistakes that happened in the journal. No, no, I would like to actually thank the team that have been working on making the journals automated. That's actually brilliant technical work. Thank you very much. However, there is a few things I want to bring up. One, I've been noticing that our company has not been reaching its goals. So we did not make the semester goal of 1,800 guest transformations, and we did not reach our goal last month for February. Yet, a lot of bonuses were paid out. And I think that is ultimately an unsustainable practice, and it does not actually inspire delight because it does not actually demand that we positively transform our employees. So that practice is now coming under more scrutiny. Now, I want to actually give everybody an opportunity to get this right, right? When we have these meetings here, this squad meeting, you should be actually asking yourself this question during the meeting. Am I headed in the right direction to earning a full bonus? That kind of question should be lingering in your mind. If you're not getting clarity on that particular question, this meeting is useless to you. So please, as a person who wants to earn a bonus, a person who wants to positively transform, hold accountable for whomever is leading the meeting to make sure that this meeting clarifies, am I making progress to earning a full bonus? Now, how do you know if you're not making progress? One, you're probably not hitting your SLAs. Two, you probably gotten help and you still can't get your SLAs and you have not offered a sufficiently good reason. Three, you get flagged over and over for not adopting guidelines or tools that have already been written and making beginner mistakes. That are probably three reasons why there will be, let's say, debate about whether or not you earn a full bonus at the end of the month. Now, how do you know if you're on track? One, your SLAs are always good. You always achieve and perhaps overachieve on your SLAs. That part is good. Two, you share what you have learned to the rest of your team by helping others to help themselves. Tell everybody what makes you such a rock star and get all your goals achieved. Three, you generally get praise and get recognition, and people think that you're doing a good job, just like a good student in a class, okay? That would be generally good signs that you know you're on the right pathway, okay? Now, what does that mean for us here? It means that we as a group need to clarify what our goals are. That's number one. Is the employee community as a whole doing good or not good? And sometimes I don't know if we actually discuss about that. That's one. Two, if it's not doing good, then who in particular is not doing a good job of achieving their goals, right? Is it this person, that person, whatever? Doesn't matter, but we just need to know where the service is broken. And after that, we can then send expert help to repair those services so that it gets back on track. Now, after you've been issued a plan, it would be really good for us to check at the beginning of each meeting to see what has been the result of that plan and if that plan has actually been implemented to any success. Okay, that's so that we don't forget that we've already spent some resources to try to address the problem. Okay, so those are just some basics, I think, that would make these meetings go a lot better and align. Remember, we are almost 60% of the way there. We have brilliant systems, we have brilliant people, we have a lot of people here. The last thing that we really need to become a really great company is adoption. We need to actually make sure that we adopt the things that have actually been offered in front of us. Okay. All right. With that in mind, I will, that preamble being said, I'll turn the meeting over to whoever's leading. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jing, for the reminder. So yes, guys, we need to remember back our goals and SLAs, yeah, to see that we're actually moving forward or not. Okay, let me share the screen for the SLA report. And today's secretary will be Shalene and recorded by Nadia, right? All right. To save time, let's give each chapter 10 minutes to report and to actually discuss with their problems. Yeah. So to Bella for awareness.
Wait, let me stop that. Let me stop that real quick. Ara, should each chapter take 10 minutes to report their findings?
Sure, that's the way, no?
Okay. Do we need 10 minutes to report the findings, or can we just kind of take a quick look at it and see whether or not the chapter has achieved their SLAs?
Oh, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. It's the time slots, but it should be done faster, I think.
Okay, all right. Vera, let's try to do this today. Let's try to spend 10 minutes on the entire report, not each chapter 10 minutes, but all the different things, okay? What we need to understand is just simply this. Are we on track or are we off track, okay? If we're off track, then is it a matter of inspection? Is it a matter of adoption, or is it a matter of tools? In a lot of these cases, I don't know if we have actually supporting material that shows us maybe why we're off track or not achieved. So a lot of this might actually be inspection, but let's have Vera give that a shot and see if we can do that. I'd like to spend the majority of our time, if possible, to actually break out and to solve each particular issue if possible. Okay. Okay, Vera, over to you.
Okay, so more to the off track and on track. Yeah. As Bella said earlier, we're talking about dependencies. So maybe, yeah, you can update on your dependencies first, Bella.
Which one, Kak?
For the awareness. Wait. Nah, here.
Okay, so it's for BVE Top 18 report. You can open the trail. Can you help open the trail card? Yes, so we've done some analysis for the result of BVE Top that we did last Friday on 25th February. And can you scroll down a little bit? So yeah, this is the KPI that we are using for BVE Top 18. First is the number of registered, number of participant, and then conversion rate, and then number of website traffic, as well as number of applicants. From this, we see that we've achieved for number of registered, we got over 277. If you see at the above, our KPI, our SLA is supposed to be 150, so we actually exceed the KPI itself. And then for the number of participants that coming to the BVE Talk, there were 98 on the peak time, and it's actually 35.3% conversion rate. So it's not achieved because our target is actually 50% conversion rate or turn up rate. And then for the number of website traffic, this is the combination from the BVE Talk page as well as the job page. We got around 2,040 page view during the time starting from 18 February, which is the start of the publication, up until 28 February, which is around 3 days after the events itself. So we got that page view. And then as for the number of applicants, we got 0 applicants so far, but this is to be discussed, I think, because we need to know like the lag time or the delay time from the events to the applicants itself. So I think I need help on that side as well. Maybe, I don't know, from you guys for feedback, or maybe from the team as well. And then so for the next plan that we are going to do is we're going to migrate the BVE Talk documentation, so to help the future events, and then sending e-certificate for participant, speaker, and co-host. This one also to optimize and utilize our email list so that we can give them vacancy or recruitment emails as well. While we are sending the e-certificate, as well as the press release distribution through newsletter 7 on 11 March. So that's all the report for BVE Talk. Any questions or feedback? Be over to Kak Vera again.
Okay, thank you, Bella, for the update. For any follow-up questions, you guys can have a sub discussion if there is. Yeah. How about to Charisma? The sub discussion on LinkedIn analytics with Bella. To Charisma. Am I the only one who cannot hear her?
Hello? Test?
Hello? Yes.
Oh, okay. So the sub-discussion with Bila and Kak and Kak Gani was already done last week. So what I got from the LinkedIn is that on the 25th of February, there was like a peak of increase in page view, which I see is that we were sharing like open recruitment post. Usually those kind of posts are the one that get most engagement out of the others. and also has the highest like click to our page instead of the others. And also on the February 18th, there were also a peak in the page view because of
Sorry, Charisma, sorry for cutting. Do you have the written report?
no a written
Nah.
report. I mean, do you mean
The-
like a screenshot of the analytic?
Yes, and then the analysis of your analysis juga gitu. Kayak it will be better if you write it and then you attach it on the on the ini apa namanya? Oh, maaf, bentar ya. Nah, yeah, so it will be better if you could have it written and then like you can share us the paper gitu, so everyone can have a great look on what you're discussing gitu. So we won't spend too much time just like talking about the analysis gitu. Is that possible for you, Charisma, to provide us the written documentation, the report? Yeah.
No, Kak.
Sorry? Can ya? By when do you think you can provide us the ini report?
Should I do it by like in this meeting or like?
Oh no, you should have.
yeah,
you could do
I
it as
can
in-
do it today, sih, Kak.
Okay, today and then 6 p.m. Wita is the deadline. Is it okay with you?
Yeah,
All
sure.
right then. Then we'll follow up with that hopefully during the breakout meeting lah ya. Okay, that is from Charisma. Okay, for conversion, I've updated the hiring campaigns. You can see in the. We're later going to talk about it. And to roll out, Ali already. To Fidi, any updates about the qualified applicants? Ridash, I think, right?
Qualified applicants already. Ya kan
Already
Biala ya. It's already reported like last week.
Okay, already done. All right then, that's the dependencies from last week. Then we can continue to this week's report. To Biela.
Okay, thank you for your time. So these are some report for what we've done this week. So basically this week we've done reprioritizations and re-strategizing the awareness plan for EAF. There are three main plan that we're going to do. First, doing the distribution post, and then this social media campaign, as well as external relation. Those are the BIC. And maybe later on, you guys can open the distribution post plan. It's already attached there. It's on the Coda as well. So that's what we are going to do every week. We're going to do, basically to sum it up, we have a weekly email blast, and then we're going to do advocacy distribution posts every week as well, and also social media campaign for every week. And then for career and calling, we've done business case competition with industrial engineering, ITB, on 4 March as well as on 6 March with Kak Nadine, Kak Vidi, as well as Kak Lilis. And then we're going to, we already released the press release for BVE Top 18. And then we've done some distribution posts through social media campaign as well as advocacy. These are the performance. First, for SLA, for website weekly SLA, it's not achieved with 250 unique page view. And then for LinkedIn, it is achieved with 348 page view. And then for Instagram, it is not achieved with 135 profile visit. With ML Plus, it is also not achieved with 54 page view. And for distribution posts, SLA, it is achieved with 10 posts. And then for applicant, it is not achieved with 10 applicants. And for the CP screening, it is 0%, which is not achieved as well. I think if I can analyze a little bit about this, what we've done so far, I think we can see that actually the one that is achieved is because LinkedIn has been constantly achieved so far, even without much effort from our side. So I think that's understandable. Meanwhile, for the other ones, mostly this week we've spent much of our time planning and also strategizing and not actually executing, which is why the result is not coming out. So hopefully, since this week we are already on the past 3 days as well as this week, we're going to start executing the plan. By next week, we are expecting some result. Hopefully, we can fulfill all the SLA in the end of the day. So for the friction, we need to revise some of the copywriting as well as the call to actions, especially for email blast, whale hunting, as well as social media campaign. Because previously as we mentioned, we achieved some of the SLA, but it's not achieved or not translated or converted into applicants. So we think that we need to revise on the copywriting and the CDA. So that's some friction that we have, because we don't really know which copywriting that would actually help us, because so far we've already following the guideline, but turn out that the results are not what we expect. So that's the friction that we have. And then for the next actions, for the career and cooling strategy, we're going to have newsletter 7 targeting for RM, BA, and BD on 11 February, March, I mean, and then preparation for PSB Academy Industry Visit that will be held on 18 March. I forgot to add one more. There's going to be a career talk with President University on 16 March ya kalau nggak salah, Cindy. Yeah. And then for job 1, we're going to do email blast for BD this week. As I've mentioned to you before, our plan is going to do a weekly email blast, and this week we're going to do it for BD. And for the next week, we're going to have a different role that we're going to do the email blast to different audience or target as well. And then lastly, the distribution post through social media campaign, as well as the advocacy. So that's all. Any feedback and question is welcome. Back to Kak Vera.
Okay, thank you, Bella. So if we're going back with the main purpose of this meeting, right? So based on your analysis, the performance, is it off track or on track? If it's off track, like what part is like off track? Is it the tools or adoption?
I would say that it's off track, and I would say that some of it it's variative for every SLA, but we figured that some of it are related to the tools as well as adaptations. For example, for the BV talk itself, we see that there are some frictions on how we manage the event and how we do the copywriting or the content, which resulting in 0 applicants so far in this case. Which is why we're also working on fixing the tools itself, which is those I mentioned, the copywriting as well as the CDA. But yeah, I think mostly one is the tool and second is the adoption.
Okay, so for the tools, one of it is the BV talk that you're currently trying to fix, right? How about the adoption part?
Oh, it's kebalik. So for the tool 1, it's more on the social media and the copywriting email blast. We're going to try to fix the tool, in this case, the guideline and the copywriting, the template. Meanwhile, for BV Talk, we think that we didn't adapt some of the best practice. For example, like giving a broadcast WhatsApp message to every participant so that we can have a higher turn up number, because as we can see before that we only got 30-ish% turn up number, right? So it's a matter of adaptations, as well as for as the leader as the project manager itself, me and Kak Gani was mismanaging some of the event or some of the timeline as well. So yeah, that's the matter of the adaptation.
Oh, okay. Okay, then if you guys are aware of it, then like adoption could be improved in the future events, berarti ya kalau tools tinggal di-improve. Is there anyone who wants to comment? I think Kak Ara. Yeah.
So, I'm more concerned in the inspection part. Maybe this question go over to Gani. Since there are a lot of things that is not achieved, performance and awareness, what is your actionable points from here to inspect on what's going wrong? Or at least can you tell me 2 until 3 insights that you get on why this is not achieved?
Okay. Number 1, about the timing. So I saw on the awareness team have not really adopted the awareness calendar pretty well. So there is no such plan. Where is the plan? Where is the execution? Where is the what's event today? What's event tomorrow? So lack of adoption on the calendar. Number 1, and number 2, on the messaging part. So I quick inspect. That's why we have what's called the tools revision, the BV talk things. What's called tadi yang apa tadi namanya? Yeah, basically on the messaging part, there is some sort of need, adjustment or call to action, something like that. Timing, messaging, and so far so that's it, Ara,
Okay.
for my quick expression.
Actually for BVE Talk itu kan resulting to applicants that is not directly going to apply, right? It's still long phase. Yang paling effective to actually getting an applicant adalah well hunting, bener nggak?
Yes,
Nah, have you inspect well hunting?
not yet.
Okay, I'll show you a little bit, yeah. So this is what I saw. This is Mr. Jing actually found it. Nih, ini send from his account. Well hunting, kan kemarin ada tanya Cindy sama Bila, what can be done ya Kak, well hunting kita kayaknya udah bagus, pemilihan orangnya juga udah oke, kenapa nggak working? Nah, tapi ini salah. Nanti salahnya di mana? Put the details on why you offer. Di sini kan tulisannya we have you job offer. Salah dong. Job offer itu kamu langsung dapat gaji. Tapi harusnya job opportunities. Hal-hal kayak gitu sih. Ini nggak perlu di breakout. Ini sekarang aku point out. Karena ini cuma singkat. Nanti silakan untuk detailsnya mau dilihat bagaimana inspections on each of the details, itu di breakout. Tapi this needs to be highlighted aja. I've sent the details already to Cindy. Nanti Cindy boleh share ke semua awareness team which part exactly that needs to be improved. This one is inspections. That's from my side.
To Mr. Jing.
Thank you. That is actually very, very good. Okay, listen up, everybody. I think this is a really good example of helping somebody to help themselves. A lot of times, as a chair, Vera, and whoever is a chair in this room, the person we are examining might not know what the underlying cause of their issue is. And this is why it's so important to also have somebody representing the chapter, usually a more senior person, a chapter lead or a VCL, to also give a cross-examination. So what I heard was Bila thought it was this, but in actuality, it could have been some other more fundamental reasons here. And I think this is where a very good inspection can actually find the root causes. So the thing is, though, in awareness, just simply put, if there is a good calendar inspecting any particular issue that we see is very simple, okay? So what I want you to associate is this, for anybody working in awareness, that bonuses, right, for individual bonus is the quality of your calendar, okay? Does that make sense? The quality of your bonus will be based on the quality of your calendar. No calendar means you're probably not planning. A calendar that doesn't have the right timing or the right messaging is probably a unstrategic calendar. A calendar that has everything in it but has no execution is just poor adoption. So everything actually that needs to be discussed about actually what is happening within awareness can be understood by simply looking at the calendar. Now, we innovated and discovered that a month ago. Let's use it. Let's start really using it. I support Gani here. Let's use the PR calendar and record all the things that we do onto that calendar, especially things like this e-talk, what happens before, what happens after. Everything should be in the calendar in our all communication strategy. Thank you. Okay, back over to Vera.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, that's it for the awareness team. Okay, let's move on to the conversion chapter. For the action point, as discussed last week, we need to put BD into the higher priority, right? So I actually rearrange into RM, DA, BD, PR, and CM. If you guys have any comments, you can just directly comment. And then I actually approached the squad leads for the refined interns SLA, and I think this should be refined and updated because it hasn't been updated since months. And yeah, for the onboarding, only onboarded Audison because Yvonne dropped out. She said that she had a bad internet connection, and she also offered offline internship. Yeah, for that. For the frictions, actually, I mentioned here, we've been detecting false positives in terms of capacity, not the others, these past few days. So bandwidth already taken a lot from the seniors, but then in the end, employees still decided to resign. So we need to do something about this. Yeah, For the performance, 3 out of 5 SLAs I could say it's achieved, even though it's 0 here. But okay, we can go through one by one. For the first SLA, it's 3 days, but then the number is like 19.50 days, so it's obviously not achieved. And then 10 days to assign trials per month, it's 53. It's still a really high number, and a reason is still the same because it's still affecting from the January's entries. Hopefully, by at the end of the March, I think we don't have any more MBKM candidates, so I think we could be like go back to the normal numbers. And then for the third SLA, it shows 0 here, but then that 0 doesn't mean we do not achieve, because it just means that we haven't found any losses yet for now. And then so it's like I put it null instead of not achieved. And then for the fourth SLA, it's actually achieved because like the win or loss ratio is 0.5. But then if you see the performance here, interviewed 2 people, 2 passed and 2 agreed. So it's actually like 100% of conversion rate, right? So I just put 0 and null. And then for the last SLA, 1 out of, wait. Oh, wait, it's not supposed to be 50%. It's supposed to be not achieved, sorry. It's 1 out of 5, so it's only 20%, so it's not achieved. Okay. For the actionable, inspecting teams work on recruitment process and following up with the squad leads. And if I can analyze, I would say this is very, very off track. I would say it's adoption problem. We already have the guidelines, we already have the tools, but then like the adoption is very, very lacking. And yeah, and the adoption relating to the qualified candidates too, right? If we could like identify better qualified candidates, I think we could have like higher conversion rate, but then it's very, very low. So yeah, it's very, very off track. That's it from conversion. Is there anyone who wants to comment on that?
Quick comment, Vera. Terus Vera mau ngapain nih? 3 days to 19 days, 10 days to 50 days. Actionable-nya ngapain?
Karena kan tadi because I said like our adoption is very lacking kan Kak. So, jadi adoptionnya have to be improved, and I've been highly inspecting the timing sih of the movement of the cards gitu. And kalau yang the second SLA, as I've said, if there is no more MBKM candidates, the number should be go back to like lower because it's normal.
By when should we see a better result?
Because I think the MBKM candidates is already clean, like in the recruitment process. So hopefully by the end of March. See.
Oh, lama banget. Is it not possible for, kan udah reset by early March, right?
Yeah, but then kan ini kan assigned to trials per month kan. Jadi kan kayak we are assigning ada a few MBKM candidates that were assigned for the other trial batch, the second trial batch for March. Jadi the numbers-nya itu bakal kayak stuck sampai sana gitu. Betul nggak?
Itu harusnya exclusion sih, MBKM kan MBKM.
Iya, but we don't have data for excluding MBKM sih for now.
Kan ada tag-nya MBKM, no?
No. From Redash itu belum ada.
Oke, breakout session aja. Ini tim manajemen issue sih menurut aku.
Okay, yes, Mr. Jing.
Also, one other thing, everybody. Let's go to Shaylin real quick. Shaylin, how do you feel like we were successful with the current batch of MBKM students?
Successful as in the hiring process.
Did you feel like we took full advantage and succeeded in the MBKM program for this year?
No, I wouldn't say 100%
Right.
success.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, how confident do you feel at the next MBKM opportunity that we will be successful, or will we repeat some of the same mistakes again?
If we know, like, if we actually like have this current expectation, like for the next batch, ideally speaking, we should be able to like get more out of it.
But we're relying on Vera hoping right now. That's what it looks like, right? So hopefully things will turn out. I don't mean to pick on Vera or anything, but this is not a really good approach to innovating. It's not a really good approach to inspiring delight. Hoping doesn't make anything happen. Planning makes things happen. Having a strategy makes things happen. Having an idea or discovering a root cause, okay? So adoption is clearly the issue, as Ara just mentioned. We probably have to break out and figure out what is the team management thing here. But hoping makes us passive, it makes us victims, makes us kind of hope that the circumstances around us change. That isn't what we do. We take action, we inspire delight. So don't hope, do. Do wrong, make a mistake. That is infinitely better than hoping, okay? We're not passive actors in life, we're active actors in life. Back to Vera.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing, for that. Oh yeah, Kak Ara?
Additional part also, I need you guys to be more ambitious and rigorous towards the goals that we set. How exactly I'd like to see is that kalau misalkan ada numbering tidak achieved in here, it should not be like, okay, it will be get better by the end of March. No, it should get better by the next meeting, at least showing improvements. That's how the spirit I'd like to see, bukan kayak sit, relaxed, and see how things are going by the end of the month. Nggak gitu. Ini jelek sekarang. Let's say sekarang 19 days. How exactly we can possibly make like the next meeting should be reduced gitu. So ini nggak cuma masalah ini, maksudnya like in general lah, awareness juga semua, transformation and so on. So that type of mindset. In this case, okay, special case karena ini trials Kak, jadi cuma bisa 2 minggu. Okay, I get it. But I mean like in general, it should be like that. We should be thirsty on improvements.
Okay, thank you, Kak Ara. Yes, Mr. Jing.
One last thing. How many people are in this team now, Vera?
5?
Only 5? There seems to like be 14 people in this meeting, right?
No, it's only 5 for the recruitment.
Okay. There is people I think that we probably could delegate to. So or there's maybe something we can do to lighten the load. So don't forget, right? We do have a bit more headcount, a little bit more coverage than we did before. So yeah, that could help. Okay, all right, let's continue.
Okay, yep, that's it from conversion. Next to transformation.
Okay, thank you. So a little bit of an action point. So discussion for the January as well as the February ES was done. So it will be reported on tomorrow's all hands. And then, okay, payroll with the new workflow is what it was done like earlier on during the month. So there were actually like a few frictions with the bonus assignments, as well as few parts of the workflows are not actually like followed accordingly. So currently I'm also asking Jing, Bayu, as well as David for the frictions as well as suggestions for the possible improvements in the next coming month of payroll. And okay, next thing is that the P2P was done last weekend. So I think previously Vidi, Nadia, and Vian couldn't make it for the session. So please put up your feedback to the other team members, and you can also like probe them with the feedbacks that you guys have received. You can also like confirm them if you guys have anything you would like to ask further, yeah. And preferably by this Tuesday, by tomorrow, so that everything can be all of the feedbacks could be received as well as implemented in this month in this case. And one last point, we had a training with Alias lecturer Bu Sheila last weekend on how to properly conduct one-on-one sessions previously. So I think later on I'll need to confirm again with Ara on the theme of the month, yeah, for this month's one-on-one sessions in this case. Okay, those are a few of the action points. So if we go to the performance voice, right, it's actually somewhat similar to the previous week as well, because currently our SLAs are actually like tied into the conversion one, yeah, into like the hiring process, as well as retaining our employees and interns basically. So for the first one is basically still not achieved in this case. I'm currently like asking Lilis as well on the RM. So she's currently like considering one revenue management as well as one business analyst full-time in this case. So I'll need to probably confirm again with her later on. And for the host, this should be like one host. Currently, like Muti has agreed, like with our proposal to like give her the host contract. I'll finish the contract job by today, and the job desk is already confirmed by Katendi as well. For the job desk in our contract. So I'll just directly roll out the contract later on, by today if there's no other issues for Muti. Okay, and then if we're talking about the number of interns, similar to the previous weeks, so we haven't actually like got hired like these roles mentioned over here. Recently, like last week, we hired CM audition from CM for the onboarding program. So it's still not achieved. But if we're talking about the win and loss, I mean in the retention itself, it's actually achieved. So so far the past week, there's no resignations in a way from the employee side. However, I think Vera also like mentioned this slightly in the conversion update. So one of our interns from the hosting team, Tika, is planning to resign in this case. So it's not yet confirmed in this case. So that's why I haven't actually like put it into count me. So that's why it's still achieved because it's still not confirmed. Okay, that's a little bit on the retention part. About the transformation, actually for this one, right, it's related to the frictions, right? So previously we tried the iteration like with 2 chapters. So I'm currently like kind of considering see which arrangement is actually better, like whether it's actually like chapter, like measuring to like chapter would be better, or like would a squad arrangement like from the 2 squads would be better. And I will need further discussion with BI in that case. So a few actionables from transformation side. Okay, I'll need to bring up the SLA measurement discussion with BI. Not sure whether it's going to be like directly in the BI discussion session or with Willis directly or with any other arrangement. So I'll confirm again later on. And then the ES report by tomorrow, as well as the team for one-on-one session is still pending for now. Maybe that's a little bit on the update. But overall, for the SLA itself, I would say it's kind of off track at some point. Why is it off track? Because for the transformation measurement, it's still like the tool side, right? That is not not fully like ready yet for adoption. So that's why it's still kind of off track. But the issue is more into the tools itself overall for transformation. Okay, maybe that's a little bit from my side. Back to you, Vera.
Okay, thank you, Shelin. Any comments for the transformation chapter from anyone? Okay, no ya. So the actionable from... Oh iya Kak.
Shelin, I rarely hear these issues not being achieved, the SLA on transformation chapter discussion. I never hear that we're not achieving this and this and this. I think you should start to bring what's not achieving in transformation chapter to be discussed on what exactly the frictions. So bring this up on chapters discussion.
Oh, for the SLA, like whether it's achieved or not in this case?
Yes.
Like in the transformation chapter discussion?
Yes.
I think Ara is a bit lagging, or is it? I see. Okay, I see. Okay. I think previously we did see in the last weeks of the meeting. I think you weren't there in the meeting. So like at the end of the session, we talked slightly about the SLA achievements for February. So from all of the user funnels. So I think you can also refer back to the recordings to find out more in this case. But yeah, for transformation meeting, we don't actually talk about the SLA. Right?
Okay. That's not what I mean. It should be delivered not monthly. I'm aware that it was brought up like last week, but it should be brought up like it should be the base of discussions. What are the frictions? Usually like in transformation kan ada isu, ada claiming tamu nih yang mau claiming kursi rusak. It shouldn't be directed based on that, but it should be directed based on this. what exactly that we're not achieving of the SLA, terus baru di breakdown. Jadi sama di employees funnel juga gitu, jangan kayak ada isu apa drop out issue terus habis itu didiscuss drop out, bukan, tapi dari sini dulu. Jadi main thing to look up-nya tuh SLA first and then baru di breakdown what exactly. That's what I mean. So the structure need to be changed gitu, dan mungkin bisa pioneered by you as a person that is in transformation for employee funnel.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I'll note it. Okay, yeah. From the employee side, if I remember correctly, in transformation meetings wasn't actually like tied directly to the SLAs. Jadi more into like projects wise gitu. Jadi kayak maybe that's the a little bit of a context juga ya on what's happening in transformation chapter meetings. But I think it will be it would actually make a lot of sense, right? Because the chapter meetings are for like for brainstorming and problem solving, right? Basically from the issues of the chapters. So I think in the next meeting, tomorrow's meeting, actually in this case, I can also try and bring up the issues related to this, especially. But yeah, thank you, Ara, for the reminder again for this.
Okay, thank you, Kara, for the reminder. So, dependencies from the transformation chapter is ini ya, discussion with the BI about the chapter versus what would be better, and trying to bring the discussion to the chapter workshop. Okay, let's go to advocacy. Yeah, to Cindy.
Okay, thank you, Kavera. So for the advocacy side, the action points are it means me and Charisma will make sure that all MBCAM interns are reminded to put the program, the monthly employee LinkedIn program on their OKR, and this was done by Charisma. And I already asked advocacy post to our previous BVA talk speakers, which is Joe and Laxi, and they already post the advocacy post on their LinkedIn. I already attached it there. You can put their name if you want to. And for the performance sides, we have 4 SLAs here, to achieve and to not achieve. For the first SLA, we got 15% applicants from referral. This is overly achieved because last week we got 4 out of 10 applicants that comes from referral. However, the conversion it's not really well, since although the first SLA is always achieved in the last few months, but the SLA for hired from applicants is rarely achieved. And for the next one, the win-loss ratio between transform employees to become advocates per month, this is also not achieved. And for the last one, for the 10 advocate stories per month, we achieved this again because we got 1 story from Vito and 2 from our previous VVA talk speakers, which is Joe and Laxi. And for the friction side, as I've said before, it's the low conversion from the applicants to hires, and I will consult this to Kak Vera about how to improve this, because Kak Vera is previously the funnel manager of advocacy. For the next actionable is I will ask the new interns that onboarded on February and March to join the program, and we'll start doing this from today with the help from Charisma. Okay, that's it from my side. Back to you, Kak Vera.
Okay, so to you, Cindy, do you think the performance here it's on track or off track? And based on your analysis, what part is wrong? Tools, adoption, or inspection?
I think this is somewhat off track because the tool SLA is always not achieved, which is the hired from advocacy, and the win-loss ratio from employees to become advocates. And I believe this is adoption issue.
Adoption issues, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I think we can bring this SLA to the advocacy workshop because,
we already have a solution from the advocacy workshop. So the solution, let's go to Cindy. Cindy, do you remember what the solution was?
Sorry, sir. The solution to fix which problem?
The hires from employee referral. What was the problem and what was the solution that we had discussed?
from the current solution that we have is we have to show more exciting projects instead of just join in. So we have to show them the why they have to join us, and
Thank you.
after that, yeah, we can attract more calling applicants.
Right. Okay. So the problem was actually the messaging, and the messaging was based on an activity. Like, look, I graduated from Bukit Vista, not what did I do at Bukit Vista when I graduated. So we have to actually improve the story content there. Okay. So the plan is already in place. Let's see this get implemented then and improved. Okay. So yes, this is an adoption issue. There is already the plan. Let's see the numbers change after the plan has been implemented.
Oh, okay, that's nice. All right then. So the solution to the problem is already there. It's just that we need to adopt it. Yeah, based on the suggestions. Yeah. Any more comments for advocacy? To anyone?
Quick one, Vera. I just want to confirm, right? Since Cindy is like offboarding like in the next week, so I was wondering like who is the successor? Like who is going to be the panel manager for advocacy later on? Like is it going to be back to you or who is it?
Yes, good question. To Cindy. Oh, any plans on that?
Previously, in the operational work, I got help from Charisma, so I'm still wondering if Charisma can be my successor on the advocacy.
Okay, Karis, yeah, already in mind. And actually, we have our PR intern in trials, right? So let's see if she can pass and then become the successors. Yeah, for now itu dulu. Any more comment?
I'm not sure if I should comment it in here, but I thought in the beginning Mr. Jing said that we should only take a look at 10 minutes for each of the updates, all of the updates basically, right? Maybe there needs to be like, this is an idea, so I'd like to especially ask Mr. Jing, what about like, because most of the time I see that people are reciting what they write, and that is unnecessary during this meeting, right?
Yep.
This meeting should be just about inspections.
Yep.
So what I think should be improved and can be done in the next meeting is that the chair should start to ask a lot of questions instead of the team reporting, because they already did it written, right? What's the point of like reading it again?
No point at all. No point at all. Yep, absolutely.
The first changes that I created is that all the chair on Monday should be senior. That's like I decided to do, because like it should be Alia today, right? But Alia is new, and I don't want to risk the time to actually confuse and everything. So that's why on Monday it only be me, Fidi, Vera, Shelin, Bila, maybe in the future to chair, not the rest, because like we want to have effective free. And then second, the chair should truly go through the entire things before the meeting starts. So at the meeting, at the first 10 until 20 minutes, it should be about justifications on why it is not on track, on why it's off track, on why we're not achieving the SL and so on, and then breakout. Now, if we're like this, we don't have time to breakout session, right? So that's what I thought. So maybe Mr. Lee has better ideas for input.
Excellent. Okay, listen up, Ara. Thank you for actually acknowledging that. Yes, for everybody here, we love your voice, and of course it's good to hear you talk, but look, we can all read it, right? And we can understand what is working on track, what is not working on track. I would suggest this. So Ara, I think you're on the right track in terms of the new structure, but I would also like to advise this. Justification isn't inspection, right? Justification is just relying on what somebody thinks is the underlying issue. What's actually inspection is this. If you have a particular issue, bring evidence, okay? Bring what you have done and show it in the meeting, because that way maybe one of the smart people here can see it and go, oh, that's because you didn't do this, or that's because your timing is wrong, or that's because whatever. That's why we have, 28 eyeballs in this room. So instead of justification, I would suggest if you haven't succeeded on an SLA, bring as much evidence as you can. Show us what you've done, what the exact message was, when you sent it, so that we can have a clear idea. And you can just stack that information maybe in like a little picture and attach it right below any SLA that has not been achieved. That will be helpful. For any SLA that has been achieved, also, let's not forget, we're not here just to groan over losses. We're here to celebrate what actually works. Please also give us your insight, why you think it works. Is it because, hey, look, I got some really good information and my chapter lead told me what I needed to do, and I started like messaging correctly, and all of a sudden I'm getting a higher conversion rate. Please say that, because that's really helpful, and that lets us know, oh, we're doing that right, so we should keep on doing that more, okay? And I think that can be an improved way to have this. So if we do it that way, this whole discussion, I think, can be finished in probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, right? Rather than take the whole 53 minutes. So then that gives everybody a chance to break out and then get one-on-one help from the domain expert.
Another part also, I forgot to tell, this room for specifically this meeting on Monday is a room for people that here to solve problems and give problems. That's what Mr. Jing said, right? So to those who just attend today but did not contribute anything, did not give your thoughts, did not say a thing, it's better not to attend. Why? Because save your time. You better do the work. Why wasting your time on meetings while you can actually utilize your 1 hour to actually do your projects, right? So today that didn't say anything, Alia, Cinta, Karis, better not attend next week if you don't have anything to be brought up or at least to contribute on the discussions. Discussions meaning to say that it's not just like this, but can be like on chats and so on, right? Tian juga gitu. So that's like my heads up. Not that I don't appreciate that you attend, I truly appreciate, but I also appreciating your time more. Like utilize, be mindful about how you manage your time gitu. Kalau memang nggak kepentingan nggak usah. Gitu.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Ara, for speaking. I'm going to underline that. If you are here because you want to help others to help themselves, okay? So if you see something, it is your responsibility then to say something. If you see nothing and you completely see nothing every single time, then there's not too much, I think, that you could add to this meeting. Better off spending your time working on something that you have more control over, all right? So speak up if you see something. If you're silent, then you might as well have spent the rest of your time working on something else, okay? This meeting is to discover issues, so be helpful, help others to help themselves, and look at things with the details matter eyeball. Okay, back over to Vera.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's all for today's Sync Up. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, and yeah, have a great day, people.
Oh, wait, Gani mentioned something. Let's bring, we have like a few minutes, so Gani, what's your point?
Okay, so my point is why there is everyone is just silent, just listen. Perhaps there is no chance to giving the opinion, or like just pointing out. Okay, Cinta, what's your opinion, or Karis, what's your opinion? So perhaps
that's exactly where proactive is needed, right? If you're waiting for your leaders to point you out every single time, that is not the result I would expect.
Yep.
So we have many people, PIC, for example, in transformation, Shelin is the funnel manager. She is the most relevant person to speak on behalf, but doesn't mean that Shelin gets all the idea. Maybe Alia have the better idea, maybe Fian does. So what should I do? Every single time Shelin give opinion, I should ask one by one. That's also not going to be effective and efficient, right?
That's right.
So instead of waiting for the leaders to point you out, then you speak up. That's the only way that it should be done.
I agree. Absolutely. Hey, listen up, everybody. I think everybody here is in a privileged position, including myself, of course, because we're able to do this thing called remote work. But look, remote work at the end of the day is still work, okay? And if you really think about your life, your career, your direction, do you really want to be a person who is never seen, their camera's off, they never talk at meetings, they're kind of invisible? What are the chances of you actually succeeding in a remote work lifestyle if you're just a blank, right? You're not even a person in a room. You're just a pixel on a screen, right? So speak up, be actually involved, because I think you should be more afraid of being invisible than saying the wrong thing. We always here forgive for making a quality mistake, but if you're not going to participate or do anything, then do what you're good at. Do that. If this is just like, I don't get the point of being here, save your time, like Ara said, and focus more on that. But we want to have a lot of eyeballs here. We want to have a lot of eyeballs see it. Gani, to answer to your point and also to elevate, Ara, sometimes we could use things like Miro because those allow people to simultaneously write. Maybe some people feel more comfortable writing versus speaking. So I could kind of see that too as well. But listen, there's many ways to engage. You could type it in the screen like Gunny just did, and I acknowledged him, and he gets a chance to speak now, right? So that we see that. You could unmic and speak. You could do any number of things, but if you see something and you don't say it, then why come at all, right? Why participate? Okay, a little bit of career advice. If you want to get promoted, go up in life, you know, you have to be seen, you have to be heard, right? That's just the way it is. But yeah. So speak up, and people want to listen. Okay, back over to Gar.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So yeah, don't malu-malu ya, guys. Okay, have a great day, people. Bye-bye.